Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, and I just want to give a shout out to my cousin, to my aunt and her husband. Thank you guys for supporting me in this channel, and to all of you who subscribe and watch all my videos, thank you so much. And today we're going to be talking about minimalism, and in this video this is going to be deep, personal to me because I'm going to be sharing my personal experience on how I became a minimalist. But before we proceed to this video, let's ask Google what is minimalism. Google knows everything.
Minimalism. Okay, what is a minimalist life? Minimalism is all about living with less. This includes less financial burdens such as debt and unnecessary expenses. For many minimalists, the philosophy is about getting rid of excess stuff and living life based on experiences rather than worldly possessions. And what else? What is the concept of minimalism? Minimalism is about avoiding the unnecessary. It's about simplicity, utility, and elegance. It's all about less is more in terms of embracing the most of fewer things. The most common misconception is that minimalists suffer and sacrifice while having less things and less interesting experiences.
And if you are a minimalist, comment down below and share with me your experience about your journey, and maybe I can learn something from you because every one of us have different reason or journey on how they became minimalist. So I also want to learn something from you. So minimalism is not something that you inherit from your parents. In my personal experience, I do believe that being minimalistic is something that you develop throughout your experience in life. And to me, I developed this kind of behavior, I guess, or a trait early stage in my life since I was little. And this is because I grew up in poverty. That's one reason that how I developed this kind of minimalistic trait. And the second one is I'm just the kind of person that I do not like clutter because clutter affects my mood. So I'm gonna talk about how really minimalism changed my life and how it affects me and allows me to grow as a person early in my life. So first, the very deepest reason why I've became a minimalist person is because of financial stress, financial burden, or whatever that is that relates to money. I learned early the value of money. So when I was 6 years old, I started selling candies, and then my dad used to tell me, I'm just gonna take this because I'm not gonna pay you because I've already spent money for you, so this is going to be free. So I just decided, it's like, I'm not gonna sell more candies because you're not paying me. So in a very early age of my life, I just learned the value of money, and I don't know why I developed that way. And my mom, she works, but it didn't last long, and my dad, he works. He's a great provider, but when I talk about being a great provider, that does not mean that he makes a lot of money. I'm just saying that he's a great provider because he's responsible. He always thinks about the welfare of his family, and he did all his best to provide for his family. But it wasn't enough for us to survive financially. So we grew up being poor, felt the pain of being poor, and that's when I really learned early in life that no money is equal to pain. And when you have that kind of experience, when you have that kind of feeling towards your environment, you will have that kind of sense of thought and realization. It's just back then, it has limited opportunity to improve our way of living. So that was also the problem, because if the opportunity was not the problem, maybe we will progress financially. But it's just so different when you live in a different and when you live in a different world, when opportunity is limited. So my parents live separately. Me, my sister, and my mom, we live with my grandma and my uncle, and my dad was left where he worked. And my dad was telling that we're gonna do it this way so I can get my retrenchment, so maybe I can get a big amount of money so I can provide for my family. But it didn't turn out to be that way. So when my mom come to visit my dad, it takes like 1 to 2 months before my mom able to come back with us. So my mom, before she leaves, she makes sure that she could stock up a lot of food as much as she can, and she leave 100 pesos for me and 100 pesos for my sister. And if my sister is watching this video, she knows what I'm talking about. So during that time, my mom leave 100 pesos for me and 100 pesos for my sister. And how much is 100 pesos in conversion in today's dollar? That's probably $2. So $2 for me and $2 for my sister. And my mom is gone for like, we don't know. Sometimes she comes back 1 month. Sometimes she comes back 2 months. But she tried her best to stock up a lot of food. So I was only like 14 years old at that time. My sister was 13. So in Philippines, we don't have welfare system. We don't have food stamps. So we just kind of rely on our own ability to survive, and to the people around us who are nice and generous to give us some help. So at the age of 14, I've learned how to budget money with just 100 pesos or $2 for 1 to 2 months. So how far is my 100 pesos could stretch. So I would say maybe 3 weeks to 1 month. It depends. But most of the time, I don't really use, during that time, I prioritize my school project. And then sometimes I still remember when we go to the store and get food and credit. But then after a while, when you always do that and not paying your debt because you don't have money, you start to feel embarrassed of going back to the store. So that's what I actually feel when I keep going back there. I started telling my grandma, I'm not going back there because yesterday I went there. We've already had a store credit, and now I'm going back there. No, I'm not going back. So, and then our debt is piling up, and then we don't know when we're getting money. And then sometimes I go to school that I don't really get to eat well, and I have suffered malnutrition. And if anyone of you here watching this video know me back then, I was really skinny and I've suffered malnutrition. And there are times when I go to school, I was starving, and back then I'm not very vocal about my personal problem. I'm reserved and quiet type of person, so I don't really share those kind of things. I mean, I don't ask my classmates, I really like your food, can I have some? I'm just being quiet and sit down in a corner, and then during lunchtime, I'm just go to, wherever I can find a place where I can sit by myself and drink a lot of water. And I still remember during the time when I graduate high school, we don't have any food to celebrate during my graduation in high school, so I just go to bed and sleep and drink a lot of water. So I've experienced all that. And then there were times also that I've experienced where we eat that kind of, like, my husband said it's like nasty. I showed that picture in Google to my husband. He said it's like nasty. It's like, well, I grew up that way, so don't call it nasty. So I've experienced that, and I've also experienced when my mom, she battled with the leukemia stage, I think that was stage 4 cancer, and we didn't really have money. And during that time, all the support that we got was from families and friends. They made up donation, and my dad wound up selling some of part of his property. Is because of for hospital bills and things like that. And basically, a lot of this help, those comes from people, and some we really stretched what we could to survive. So when I started getting a job, I became so conscious, and how I still remember when I got a job, I was so conscious about how I spent money. And during that time when you're so used about being struggling, and there comes the blessing, you don't even know how to deal with it. And that's exactly how I felt. So I have when I started making money, I was so conscious, how am I going to spend this money? It's like, this is for my boarding house, this is for my food, and whatever's left, I'm gonna save it. So I feel like when I started making money, I go extreme on saving money and don't really buy anything for myself. So if there's anything that I spend for myself, those are just necessities. The rest, I don't really spend extra. So that becomes a habit over time, until I got married to my husband. And during the first year of our marriage, it wasn't really me who managed our finances, it was my husband. But it was, turns out, like a little bit of disaster financially. So my husband told me, you know what, I'm just gonna let you manage all the money. I just work, I'll just give you the money, and I'm just gonna work, because it seems like it's not working. So we tried to do something different. My husband let me manage money, and ever since then, it just turns out to be working better. So even until today, I've been managing our finances for 7 years now. And when I manage our finances, my husband don't even know how much bills we pay every month. It's me. So I'm the one who literally goes through every bill, the insurance, the rent, saving money, everything. I mean, I'm the one who do that. My husband don't have any idea what I'm doing, everything. So, and he just trusts me in everything that I do, and it becomes a habit for me. I became more highly perfectionist and sensitive when it comes to money, and that's because my experience in the past of how I struggled poverty. And sometimes I joke, because my husband is not minimalist, and I try to be I try to be more respectful and understanding, because my husband, he accumulates all this belongings, possessions throughout his life, and it has sentimental value. So I can't just get rid of them, and I have to respect that one. But at the same time, whatever I can own, that's all I own. And I have not been buying anything for the longest time. Most of the time, the things that I own, my purse, my clothes, they're given by my friends, and I hardly buy anything even until today. And sometimes my husband gives me money, and he tells me, I'm gonna give you this money, go out and shopping. I don't want you to be saving that money, because you have not bought anything for yourself. All you do is work and budget money, and that's how you do. So my husband, he's very attentive. He'll remind me, you need to spend something for yourself. So that's how I became a minimalist person. I'm so sensitive about overspending, because I'm afraid that what if we're gonna be broke and we keep spending and we're not very careful evaluating our expenses. So I'm afraid to go back what's in the past, because living in the past, it's really difficult, and you can't just go to people and ask help, because these people also have their own problems, and you gotta think about other people that they may not be there for you during the time that you need it. So you have to learn to depend on yourself, and you also, at the same time, you gotta learn to be considerate about others when they say no, and never feel entitled. So I've learned to grow in that part of my life, and that's how minimalism benefits my life, because I became responsible when it comes to money in early stage of my life. And my husband is just really thankful for that, because money is something that he don't like, and he don't like managing finances because it's stressful for him. As a minimalist, I don't really have a whole lot of stuff in this house, and I don't buy purse or anything fancy. So my friends, they gave me a lot of clothes, so that really saves me a lot of money, and I don't want to buy clothes because those clothes are still good. So I don't buy bags, I don't buy purse, and my friends, they just give me all those kind of stuff to me. So I just don't spend money on those things. And I'm gonna show you the kind of purse or bag that I use. I'm just so practical when it comes to things, and I don't really care what people says about me or what kind of brand or what stuff do I wear. So I'm gonna show you the kind of purse I take to work, and believe me, it's cheap, and I actually found it in our cabinet. So this is the purse that I have. This one, my friend Ashley gave this to me, and I think she bought it from Walmart. That's the one I wear every day. It's a sling bag, it's practical to use, and I just have to put all on my shoulder. And then this is actually the bigger one. I use Walmart bag. And actually what's in this Walmart bag is like, let me check. Oh, I still have a dozen of eggs here that my friend gave me. I forgot to put this in the fridge last night. My friend, my coworker gave that to me yesterday. A lotion for dry skin, and my face shield and phone charger. That's what's in my purse, that my bag that I take to work every day. And these are all my winter jackets, and majority of those jackets, this one here, they're all majority of these jackets, they're all given by my friends, and some I got it free online. And the only jacket I bought in those, the pink one, and the rest, they're all free. I got it free online, and my friends gave it to me. So it's been 8 years. That's all I have for my winter jackets and long sleeve clothes. And on this part, these are my husband's long sleeve. So my husband is, I feel like my husband's got more clothes than mine. And this part here, I actually box all those clothes that I don't wear anymore. I'm just decluttering and just trying to get rid of this stuff. And majority of this clothes that I put here are actually my old clothes in the Philippines that it don't fit no more, and some of those are given by my friends, so I'm just gonna send them in the Philippines too. And these are my footwears, and the 3 footwears, they're all given by my friends, and the 2 I bought them during the time when I needed, when I went on vacation. So that's all the footwears I have. And these are all my pants, and most of these pants are spandex I use for work. And I only have like 2 or 3 jeans, but I hardly use them. And the spandex, I use it for everyday occasion, for everyday thing, work, wherever, because spandex, I'm more comfortable with them. And then at the bottom, these are all my shirts, and these are all for my nightwears, and that's all the clothes I have. And I actually have 3 pairs of tennis shoes. One is for work and the 2 is for something personal for when I go places. And then the rest, they're all kitchenwares, and I started to buy a little bit more on kitchenwares because I started to get hooked in cooking and developing more of my cooking skills. So those are all the things that I really own in this house, and the rest, they're all belongings from my husband. So my husband literally, he has a lot more stuff in this house, and he's deeply sentimental, so I respect that one. So if you happen to see a lot of stuff in this house, those are not mine, but I don't buy a lot of stuff. Majority of my stuff, like clothes, everything, mostly are given by friends, but more specifically on clothes, my friends, they give me a lot of stuff. I also have my boots, my friend Gina gave it to me. So everything I have in this house, I mean, it's just really mostly for free, and some they're gifted, my husband gifted to me. So I don't really have a whole lot of stuff in this house, and I don't like keeping a lot of things that I don't really use because it's a lot of clutter for me. So that's all the stuff that I have in this house. So people might think I have a lot of stuff, because that's the reason also why I don't post a lot of stuff in social media, because I don't really have anything to brag about myself, because I don't buy a lot of stuff. The most recent purchase that I made was the camera, because this camera I started I bought this like over a month ago, and I've made this plan to purchase it for myself 3 years ago. So I told myself, if it's a big purchase, I have to think over and over, and it took me 3 years to decide to buy a camera. And I told myself, I really want a camera is because I want to start doing YouTube, so this is it. So anyway, guys, that's how I became a minimalist person. And if you guys have any questions, or you have your journey of being a minimalist, share your experience down below, and I would love to read and listen to you and learn something from you. And I will see you in my next video next week. Bye bye.